Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, he got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Two Code in the building. Bro, what's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Nothing. Can't speak right now. Nothing much, man. We back with the people, man. We had a few days off. I hope every father on here, man, had a great Father's Day, man. I know I did. I know the franchise did, man. So happy Father's Day to everybody, man. All the fathers on here. Other than that, man, I'm just glad to be back with the people, man. Like I said, we had some much needed time off. We're getting ready for the Forbidden Door this weekend. Man, we got some shows to review. We got some matches to predict. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about. Vince is doing his 1-2 step as he walks his way out of WWE, supposedly. And yeah, man, we just got some stuff to talk about, man. So let's talk.
Tuco, first of all, man, we got the people coming in. We got the comments flooding in. I want to say Daniel, Mark, Kevin, Leo, what's good? And to whoever this is on YouTube, I can't see your profile right now, but thank you for tuning in to another episode of GOW. All right, man. So we got we have a lot to talk about tonight, man.
It's
so with
contagious.
that being said, all right, man, let's talk about the first thing on the docket. We got Rhea Ripley, man. She has, according to Ringside News and WWE, not been medically cleared for her Money in the Bank match that she was supposed to have with the EST at WWE, the WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Tuco, man, Rhea Ripley. People been wanting to see this for a while. We had this moment. We had this moment at the Royal Rumble where we seen these two on the apron, and we knew something big was gonna happen. We just didn't know when. But yo, man, your girl Rhea Ripley, according to reports right now, she's sidelined. I know you and I, we were really looking forward to this match, especially seeing Rhea Ripley finally getting away from the cuffs of the tag team division and finally looking like she's gonna get that singles push, especially as the one of the members of Judgement Day, being their only female representative. Tuco, when you heard this news that Rhea Ripley was pulled from the card, and then subsequently we had Carmella, she ended up winning a fatal 5-way, and she's gonna face Belair. What did you think of this news for Rhea Ripley, man?
It's sad because you like you said, man, we wanted to see Rhea come in and do her thing, and I don't know if she was gonna win. You just put the title back on Bianca. Yeah, she had one good title defense match. I'm not gonna lie, the triple threat match between Becky and Asuka was a really great match. It was everything that we thought it would be, and a little bit more. But I didn't think Rhea would be her per se, but I definitely could see it happening down the line. She hasn't really fought much per se. She's just been going against Liv Morgan. She hasn't really fought anybody. So for her to get this title shot, I can't per se say she was going to win, but it definitely was a match I was intrigued to see if she could win. They pulled the trigger before. There's nothing to stop them from pulling the trigger. When they want to put the bet on somebody, they're gonna put the bet on somebody. So I don't know, but it's still kind of disheartening to see that she's not going to be there, and we're not going to get to see this match.
Tuco, speaking of not getting to see the match, man, it's been a thing going on Twitter and on social media, and it's talking about the curse of the Bianca Belair title reign. People bring up, I believe it was last year at SummerSlam. I want to say, no, not SummerSlam. It was was it SummerSlam where she's supposed to fight Sasha Banks, and then that didn't happen. Okay, so then I believe she was also supposed to fight Charlotte at one point, and for whatever reason, I believe that also got nixed. And then she's supposed to fight Rhea Ripley, that got nixed. Tuco, man. I mean, despite that, all things told, man, Bianca's had a pretty solid second go of this WWE Championship reign. But Carmella, that's somebody we haven't seen in a while. Last time we seen her, she was with Zelina Vega. Now she's come back, and she's getting the chance to face Bianca Belair. To me, I feel like maybe that opportunity should have went to maybe an Alexa Bliss. If you're gonna have somebody win, Alexa, maybe Asuka. But do you think Carmella? What do you think about that call, man?
No. For Carmella, excuse me, I got a fly bothering me. For Carmella, to be the. I don't look at Carmella like I look at Becky Lynch. Like if Carmella comes in and beat Belair, I'm done. I like Becky. It was like we didn't think of it, but it's like if anybody's gonna do it, it's a Becky Lynch, it's a
Right.
Charlotte. Carmella's never, excuse me, never, okay, never that good to beat a Bianca Belair at this height of her career. Uh, Maybe a little earlier when she first got into the main roster, but not. I don't see that happening now, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just a filler match. We understand what's going on. Ripley's hurt. She's not going to be able to wrestle for the championship. So you got to have a replacement, and here's your replacement. What
RKH,
up?
what's up?
What's
What's
up?
up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, man, let's keep this train moving. Next up, we got the Judgment Day and the Mysterios regulated to WWE main event. Bro, much like Jeff Hardy chasing the 24/7 championship, people online were absolutely furious that you just had the Judgment Day who had this 5-month build up with Edge. Then you had Edge to get kicked out of the group. You got Finn Balor joining the group. You got Rhea Ripley not being able to wrestle because she's not medically cleared. Then you throw them on main event. And on top of that, I think people didn't really give a damn that Dominik Mysterio was on main event, but you took a WWE legend, a Hall of Famer like Rey Mysterio, a guy who's won championships all across the board. And people, they're wondering, man, has WWE forgotten that they're dealing with the WWE, not even just a wrestling Hall of Famer and Rey Mysterio? Do you think they take him for granted? Because to me,
Yeah.
it feels like they take Ray for granted. And I feel like they took him for granted in this last run in WWE as well. And it's really starting to show to me now.
I mean, of course they took him for granted, but they kind of had no choice because, again, when Dominic and Ray started showing up, it was during the pandemic. So it was like you had limited people, and Ray and them were they used his whole family. Like his whole family was a storyline on Raw. So yeah, they've always done this to Ray. It's no different. Like, yeah, Ray gets his respect. He got his due. Him and his son, first father son duo to be tag team champions in WWE. Cool. We knew that was going to be the thing. We were asking what's going to happen afterwards, and we
Yeah.
saw what happened afterwards. And Ray's not the same guy anymore, man. Ray's been wrestling for a long time, and um, you know, it's not, you know, it's not his fault. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer when he officially retires. But yeah, to for any of them outside of Dominic, let's be honest, all of them should not be on main event. There's no way I should ever see. I said never see Tommaso Ciampa on main
Yeah.
event, but we know he hasn't
Yeah.
gotten even though he's proven himself at NXT
Right.
for whatever reason they won't let him prove himself on the main roster. And Dominic is definitely, he's greenish goose shit. And still he's gotten a little better as the time gone on, but there's still things about Dominic that are basic. He's still doing basic shit. Like he does some new stuff. I'm not saying I don't like Dom, but he does some new stuff. But we all knew he doesn't belong on the main roster as a full-time person just yet. Like he needs to go to NXT. Like send Dom to NXT. It was cool. You got to come and hang out with your dad, but now you need to go through some real training. You need to go through some real. You need to be on your own. And in NXT, you can kind of be on your own and grow and do what you need to do. And that's what I want to see for Dom. I don't want to see Dom get buried on the main roster because that's exactly what he will get, buried on the main roster. Yeah, it'll be an experience for him. He'll learn, but still, he's the son of Rey Mysterio. You can send him to NXT and do so much more. There's so much more opportunity for him to grow down there than
Yeah.
it is for him to stay where he's at. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I'll pick
What,
on my hat.
what are your thoughts on the Judgment Day, man? What are your thoughts on people thinking
Again,
that the Judgment? Do you think the Judgment Day is buried, Or
Yeah.
do you think right now, man, it's just one of those, hey, look, we just ain't got nothing for you right now? Because there's been times where we thought things and people have been buried. Let again, gotta play devil's advocate. There's been times
Yeah.
where we thought things were in the shitter, and some way, somehow, WWE seems to make it happen, right? Like the whole thing with Damien Priest and Bad Bunny. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely hated it. But then you see after WrestleMania, or at least for a little bit, what became of it for Damien Priest. Like for a while, he looked legitimate. He looked unstoppable for a while. Then they started doing a half and half. Damien, good guy, bad guy, crazy guy shit. And then it kind of got wacky. But he was proof that it can happen. Riddle, same thing. You could attribute Randy Orton probably to a lot of that now, but regardless of how it happened, it happened. Do you think there's a way they could save Judgment Day?
I mean, there is if they decide to use them on the main roster and actually use them as a legit group and not some just enhancement talent. I mean, yeah, man, you got two legit guys. Just do something with them, man. We've seen enough to know if there's something there. I'm not saying it'd be the greatest thing, but it would be better than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
It would be so much better than what they're doing now. There could be so many matchups and matches you can have and do and go through with these guys, and they can go through with other people, and you can see who's ready for this business and who ain't, man. It's just to continue. Yes, we can give praise to the few, but I don't like that the fact that they keep making it seem like, that's the standard to what you got to make it to be a great WWE wrestler or superstar, as they would say. But it's so entertainment. Is WWE is just not. To me, it's just not about wrestling anymore. Like it hasn't been, which is why a lot of people don't really, partake into it as much as they do now. It's the reason why you see the ratings the way you see the ratings. But yeah, it kind of sucks, man. It kind of sucks because you see a lot of wasted potential talent. You can still be entertaining. You can still be an entertainment group, but damn, you gotta. What's going on, Mama? You still gotta.
What up, V?
You. Man, you still got to grow talent, man. You still got to you got too much. I hate the narrative that they don't see it. They pretend like oh no, we got the greatest and happiest. No, man. You are the best company and you have the best talent, but you are not using them to the best of their abilities.
Question. Call me naive, okay?
Mm,
As a wrestling fan, when I'm trying to gauge, okay, am I going to get behind said superstar, male or female, right? There's a
mm,
few things I look for. One, presentation, right?
right.
When you come out, theme song, entrance, the gear, do you catch my attention? One, sports entertainment. Two, can you talk? Can you cut a promo? Can you be somebody I want to sit here and listen to talk? You got guys like The Rock who can come out and he can talk for 20 minutes, and that's better than watching some of these people's matches. Three, can you go in the ring? See, my thing is this. They talk about the it factor, or they talk about, they don't know if this person has that or that. But the fans are telling you. The fans are telling you. See, to me, when I think about professional wrestling or any kind of sport, you think about the fan experience, customer service. The fans tell you what
Mm,
they want. You would think with you creating the product, you deliver a product the fans want, right? What's one of the things they tell us as content creators? Don't necessarily create what you want per se, create what the people want to see. Now,
yeah,
be true to
yeah,
you, but my
yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
if you and
It's
I
true.
decide, okay, we want to talk about Monday Night Raw 5 days out the week because we want to talk about it, but ain't nobody tuning in to view Monday Night Raw. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Monday Night Raw.
Raw. Yeah.
So when you talk about like a Rhea Ripley, or you talk about a Damien Priest, or hell, a Hall of Famer and Edge. I mean, god damn, you guys brought him back so he didn't go to AEW. Then you gonna let this man, you gonna kick him out of his own group because he's trying to tell you that the direction of this shit makes no sense. How much of how much of it is WWE doing what they want to do because they know regardless of how much people
90%,
they're going to still watch anyway.
about 95%.
So let
Hell,
me
you
ask
could
you: do
probably,
you think
so you could
WWE
probably say
actually cares about the
98%.
fan? We know they care about the dollars. We know that they care about the kids.
No,
Does WWE give a shit about the fans?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. The wrestlers, sure, like the wrestlers to the people, yes, but the company overall,
What
it's
up,
just
Joe?
like any other. It's just like any other company, man. You know, it's all about the product. You're all about the money. You're all about, satisfying what the average consumer wants, and that's what they've been modeled on for years. And it's not nothing new. Like, we've seen this. We keep talking about this, and I don't see them. I don't really see them trying to do anything different anytime soon. Until until Vince really walks up out that boy, it gets sold, we're gonna continue to see what we see.
Well, I was gonna save this for later, but since
And
you brought it,
even after that, we may still see it, because the people, whoever's the money that's running it is the move you to the money that's running it is gonna have the say so over what they want the product to look like. If there's somebody that buys and be like, hey, we want to get back to being somewhat of what we used to be, but not 100%. Like, we understand times have changed. We can't go full bra and panties, but we got amazing women we can have these great matches with. We can do different matches with the women that we normally wouldn't do. We can give better opportunities to people to really step up. So that's the thing. It's really letting people give the opportunity to step up. That's sort of the reason why AEW has the audience that they have.
but
Because
my
at
thing
least
is, okay,
there but at least there you see a difference in some of it. Like I say, it's still entertainment overall, but
but
it
you see
looks
that,
different.
but see, you said something, and I want to chime in because me and you
Go
we
ahead.
thinking alike right now. You said give them the opportunity to step up, bro. You've had people who've done that, and they got absolutely shitted on. Zack Ryder might not be the best guy in the world, but when he stepped up, guess what? They fucking bury his ass, and for
I
getting
was
over
done
on
when
his
I was
own.
I was done when they did Cesaro dirty.
So
When
it's
the
Cesaro, same
Cesaro had a
thing,
great
same
WrestleMania,
thing.
he was on the man. It's like, bro, y'all just did my boy wrong, man. Y'all just like you just see the people like him. He's good with pretty much anybody you put in the ring. All
Yeah.
right, man, let him do what he do. And if you want somebody to talk with him, man, give him a manager. Damn, it's not that hard, man, to put somebody with him to run their mouth.
Hey, but you know what's crazy? I think when he came in, he had a manager. I think what was her name, Oksana or somebody. Like you had it.
But as somebody credible, man. Like
Better than
Paul
that.
Heyman was great. Like, Paul Heyman was great for
Yeah,
him when he was the
yeah,
Intercontinental Champion,
yeah.
man. Like, that was really great for him. And if they'd have let that ride and let Cesaro really become something, because it's not like he couldn't have. It's not like he may not have been a great wrestler, but he could wrestle. But he was a great in-ring worker. I always say that there's a difference in between, what some of these guys were and what some of these guys, some of the other people were. You have your entertainers, you have your talkers, you have your wrestlers, and you have your workers. And you have that different group of people that, when blended the right way, they can do. Cesaro's never a great talker, but he was always an over wrestler. He was always somebody the fans liked to see, because we knew Cesaro was going to give you something, and you was going to see that Swiss Superman in action, and that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see the Swiss Superman do what he do. You he showed you, man, he could do it on the biggest stage. Damn, what more did you need? He had a great match. He had one of the best matches on WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. What more did you really need? And then he had a great match with Roman Reigns. What more again did you need? Even though you handicapped him, if you wouldn't have handicapped him, and just made it straight up, and he still lost, it might have been something different. But you handicapped him, and then you didn't really do anything after that. You put him right back in catering and in the mid card, and that was it. That's where he stayed.
All right, Tuco, moving on, man. We want to hop on the AEW side of things. We got Chris Jericho giving his thoughts on the MJF situation. He says MJF is 25. Actually, he is 26. He has a lot to learn. He is not as good as he thinks he is. And like I said, it has nothing really to do with me, but I'm sure he'll be back. He will also go on to say, 18 months is a long time to stay at home. And if that's Tony Khan's prerogative, you're under contract. You want to stay at home? You can stay at home and not get paid. And that's what it is. Bro, hey, MJF, he got 18 months left on his contract. Now, how I understand it is MJF believes, he deserves to get paid more money than what he is. Now, I can understand what Chris Jericho's point is to a degree and what other people's point are. They're saying, hey, you signed a contract. You can't just get paid in the middle of your contract. You got to ride that contract out, and then that's where the whole negotiation comes in, renegotiation. So I get that part. But with that being said, Tuco, do you think MJF, from what you have seen, do you think MJF is as good as he thinks he is or says he is? And before you answer, one thing that you and I talked about, you specifically, is you said if he goes to WWE, he will be a much watered down version of what he is, which is exactly what Chris Jericho said to somebody who's got 30 plus years in the business, and he's not just a fan. He said the same thing we said. So with that, with somebody who's been on that side, left, came back, went back, and left again, do you think MJF has any ground to stand on come 2024?
If the Miz leaves wrestling, I can't see this Max, this MJF that we all like has a green light to step over the line sort of bit when he comes out in AEW.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't be creative enough for WWE, but how long can you be that creative?
Especially with that whole Jesus thing that he said a couple months ago. Ain't no way in the hell Fox letting you say that.
Edge had a point where he got to be as raw as having a live sex show on Monday Night Raw. Okay, and the Edge now is different. That time frame is different. Cena was different. CM Punk different. He's got that license because he's in AEW. He can play with it a little bit more, but in WWE, you can't. How many? I don't see MJF dropping pipe bombs all like that. No. Like, you're still young, man. You still got a lot to grow and to go into. Like, yeah, you're good. You're hot right now. There's no denying that. But you're hot right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. You hear what I'm saying? You hear how I'm saying it? Right. You're hot. You're hot right now, but you're hot right now. He still needs more. That's why I'm hoping, man, that this is just, oh my God, like, this is like CM Punk being out with injury. Like, this, the timing of everything just has such work shoot vibes for me, as far as what this could be. Like, just truly what this could be. And
can you imagine that pop whenever he does return to AEW? Can you just imagine the crowd is going to go crazy?
After a couple of months of being at home and talking it over with Tony Khan, and regardless if he decides to leave or come back, could there be a storyline where he thinks he's faking coming back and being cool and wins the championship off of Punk? And then while still hasn't signed his new contract, He can still play on the fact that he's going to leave and go to WWE with the championship. Sure, I could see something like that happening. I wouldn't mind something like that happening. I wouldn't mind the story of it, just the potential, just because we see it's something that could happen. You know, why not, man? Why not play on the story, man? You got a guy that's quite arguably one of the best heels in wrestling because he's not being restricted to politics, even though you can kind of say, yeah, he steps over the line to where the network does have to say something every now and then, but not to the restriction of WWE. Because let's be honest, WWE would hear it if he continued to come out and say 60% of half of the stuff he's saying in AEW. 60% of it will get them like, all right, bro, you got to chill out. People not feeling you right now. Hey, you got to go over there to Fox. Fox may take you, but if Fox don't take you, all right, bro, we got to sit you down.
Or they can put that on Main Event. Ain't nobody watching that.
and then again, his character, like his whole vibe, man, like it's you could say it's different from Miz because Miz didn't come in rich, I guess. Sort of say. So, you know, he came in off a TV show, but he still went through tough enough. He still had to, you know, go through. He still The Miz came up. The Miz came up the hardest, man. Like if there's a video on now, yeah, you could say the one advantage he had was being on the Real World. Yeah, that was his one advantage, but that really wasn't an advantage because it didn't really.
Anything that put a target on his back, like they got like the Undertaker and JBL.
Yeah, it put a target on his back and tough enough. It put a target on his back then, so it was like, dude, like you're not even that good, but you know you can talk, and that being able to talk in wrestling is a commodity. That's a rare commodity. So it's like you can, if at best. The Miz could have came in and been someone's manager. That at best, if he never got the wrestling down, he could have been someone's manager. If he doesn't turn out to be like a commentator or something like that. But I could see the Miz with that vigor and the way he speaks and how he can command the crowd when he talks and he says stuff that pisses people off. I can see the Miz being a great, good young. I could see the Miz being a great manager. I really could. If he never get her down.
And it's crazy. And it's crazy because, you know, speaking of the Miz, like when you look at somebody, you say what you want about his wrestling, but you can't deny the fact that Miz does not fit the quote unquote prototypical WWE superstar that has the amount of accolades he has. It just doesn't happen. The Miz isn't a super tall guy. The Miz isn't super jacked, but the Miz, he has such a charisma.
He's learned to work. He's learned to work that ring. He's a worker. I'll give it to him. He is a worker.
Undeniable.
He is a worker.
All right, man. Next up, and the last thing we got on the docket, man. Definitely had to say the best for last because, you know, the ladies are killing it this year, especially on the Impact Wrestling side of things. That is, of course, our girl, two-time knockout champion, first ever queen of the mountain and friend of the GOW. We got thick mommy pump Jordynne Grace, and she picked up a victory and a hellacious Queen of the Mountain match featuring former champion, the Boricua Badass Tasha Steelz, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, Take back boy. Take back boy. Tell her you're sorry, boss.
My man.
I know. Don't get beat up now. Don't get beat up now.
My bad.
What's up, Kim?
I had to look back again. Like, what's going on, mama? I had to look back. Like, wait a minute. That man, on the. Damn, that's me. Like me. Oh man. Something happens when you make her look like a girl and not a tomboy. Man, all right, cool. I mean, you know, tomboy worked actually cool for her. It was just her in ring. It was her in ring for me, you knew what it was with me, man.
Yeah.
I could not watch a Mia Yim match. Man, I felt like she needed to take the Timbs off. I felt like the Timbs were just holding back something.
Yeah.
I just feel like she did not.
You ever try running them butters, man? The shit heavy.
And man, especially when you moving and doing dives and taking bumps, and you got to get up and move around, you got to walk around them boots, and it didn't look like they were always lace tight. It looked like they were they hood lace. You know how hood lace. You know how we lace the boots up. So it's like,
that shit got your ankle screaming, boy.
Man, I'm saying, man. So it's like, bro, I was in and then Reckoning. They just that's a whole nother disaster on its own, but. No, man, that's cool. That Big Mommy Pump, man, she pulled it out, man. 2-time Knockouts champion, first ever Queen of the Mountain. I mean, that's a hell of a queen to knock off the mountain. All hail the queen, because I ain't climbing that mountain. Shit, I'll be at the bottom. I'm gonna be at the bottom with the peasants. Right, I'm gonna be at the bottom with all the peasants.
Hey, bro, I be watching her videos on IG. I'm like, God damn, you strong lady. Hey, bro, she be killing the bench press. I'm like, shit.
Damn, woman.
Hey, she said it's my cereal.
Man, hey, you sure right. It is your cereal. Here's some milk. Here's a spoon. Would you want the big bowl? Or you good with this bowl? You might not like this bowl. You know what? I'll wash you out a whole fresh bowl. Like what you want? You want me to go to the store with some more cereal? All right, like what you want? I ain't even. You know what? I ain't even hungry right now. You can just have what you want, mommy. I ain't even hungry. You want me to make you something else to eat? Like shit. I'm cool. Shit, I'm cool. I'm good.
And speaking of champions, by the way, so like I said, man, shout out Jordynne Grace. But then we also got a picture with her and Josh Alexander as he retained his championship as well. Man, too cold. One of the things that was cool about this past Slammiversary, we got video packages from the Hall of Famer Sting. We got video packages, I believe, from Kurt Angle. We got a video package from the phenomenal AJ Styles. He got a chance to show his love because guess what? Impact Wrestling, you can't say Impact without saying the phenomenal AJ Styles. I wish you would. We had Dixie Carter, she returned. We had Gail Kim. We had your boy D'Lo Brown.
Glad somebody had Gail Kim.
Yeah, right. You had D'Lo Brown. He made his return, with the high-low, doing this 1-2 head bobbly wobbly thingy with the aces and eights. You feel me? Bro, we got the Miracle Mike Bennett. Bro, we had a lot going on this past weekend. We had the Motor City Machine Guns back at it. So that was nice to see them in the ring together doing the 1-2. Bro, hey, look, only I got to do is, hey, right now, where we at right now? This is June. Impact, man, they on the 6-month winning streak when it comes to these pay-per-views, man, top to bottom. They doing it from the ground up, boy.
Man, this is what happens when you let talent grow. They just do what they do, man. You're seeing you just see what they're doing, man. It's their 1-2. Not Impact. They've been doing what they've been doing. They all the disregarded that no one else wants, or people that are okay with being where they're at because they appreciate the opportunity that they're getting. Hey man, again, AEW is no different than Impact. Impact is no different than AEW. The only difference is AEW's been in the game 20 years. If AEW ends up going through the same struggles as Impact, that will be a huge disaster.
Yeah,
that's like so. It's like if Impact AEW's they've got to catch 20 years of Impact. All right, that's where AEW is at. You got to catch 20 years, at least 20 years. You got to maintain 20 years maintaining this network that you're on, but. Not so much the network, but just the level of the network. Tony's a guy that's a big money maker in the not just in the sports world, but in overseas, and other stuff. Tony, he's not from here. Tony's got that loan money. Well, his daddy got that long money. Tony got.
I
want to say Tony got the long. Tony's dad got that long money. Tony just got a loan extension to the long money, but but still, Tony's doing his thing, and hey man, if this is truly a passion for him, and even if he sells this company, which it'd be interesting in who he sells it to. But even if he sells the company after a few years or whatever, AEW has to remain a staple of what they are. If they can do that for about 20 years, then they'll reach something, because that will be a test of time. Like, damn, you've lasted 20 years. Like, no one thought Impact would last. Who would have thought Impact be celebrating 20 years? So it's like, and Ring of, and not only them, but Ring of Honor. Like, who would have thought they'd have been celebrating like 20 plus? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you got companies like that, that's kind of always been the knockoff while coming up and still maintaining it. You know, hey man, they've maintained it. ECW didn't make it 20 years.
We still talk about ECW. And then my boy Deontay Wilder say, to this day, we still
right.
to this
WCW,
day, talk about
ECW. NWA or whatever, WCW, WCCW, whatever. It had a run. It might have changed names, but it had a run. So that's the most, third or fourth respectable outside of New Japan, which is still going on and whatnot, or that whatever. And even some of the ones that's overseas and triple, whatnot, but in Mexico, whatnot, but still, man, when you think Impact, man, you got to give them the credit, man. Like I said, all the disregarded that Vince didn't want, they found a home, and they're showing people, man, they're better than what you thought they were. And I got no problem with that. And that's why we got another great pay-per-view from Impact, man. And we got a Queen of the Mountain. And yeah, man, I'm definitely, yeah. I like it. I like it. I love where wrestling is at right now.
Too cold, man. I think we got a new we got a new person here, so I got to shout him out. Juggernaut 097. What is good? What is good? He says, do you guys have a Twitter? We do have a Twitter. It is at Generation of WR number 1. Generation of WR number 1. And then in the actual name, it'll say GOW Media / Generation Wrestling Podcast. So please feel free to follow us. We're going to follow you back. I promise you that. But thank you so much, man, for tapping in with us. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that will wrap up our Shooting from the Hip wrestling news and rumors. But that's cool, man, because guess what? Tomorrow, we're going to be here live for the AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite review as that piece of
go
shit,
home
Christian
show,
Cage,
baby.
is going to tell people what was on his mind. We got the AEW Dynamite go home. We got the AEW Rampage go home. And then, of course, this Sunday, June 29th, if you smell
26,
what the
26,
people...
26,
this is the
26?
26. In my head, this is 29. The 26th. We got the Forbidden Door pay-per-view where we got AEW and New Japan going head-to-head. It's going to be an invasion of story. If you haven't already, check out our interview that we did last week with Leo Rush, and then the week before that with Impact World Champion Josh Alexander. And while you're doing that, you might as well check out all our interviews. Go to the interview tab on the page. Check out Jordynne Grace.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Shaza McKenzie, Eric Bischoff, DDP, Chris Van Vliet, JTG. Oh, man, our resume long like that money from Shad Khan. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the GOW, the Generation of Wrestling Podcast. And until tomorrow night, Wednesday Night Dynamite, we'll see you when we see you. Peace.